Hey there, everyone. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Amber.
We're identical twin sisters from Southern California. While we may look exactly alike, sometimes we think that's all we have in common.
We invite you to grab a cup of coffee
Or a glass of wine.
and hang out with us for a little bit.
This is Hashtag Twin Life Podcast. Hello.
Hello, twin.
Hi. Hi, how are you?
Good. Welcome, everyone, to the Hashtag Twin Life Podcast. I am Amber, and this is Ashley. We are co-hosts. She's not my co-host. I'm not her co-host. We are co-hosts together.
Yes, together.
Yeah, I don't know. This week we have, I guess, a pretty cool topic. But before we get into our week and our topic, make sure you guys go over and you subscribe. We are doing audio versions right now with no video, but you can still go over to YouTube and listen to us on YouTube. And please hit the bell so that you know whenever we have a new podcast up. If you're listening to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, any of those podcasts, what's the word? Platforms. Any of those podcast platforms, you can also subscribe. But please leave us a 5-star rating. We would love that. And also feel free to leave us a comment. That interaction really helps us out, get up there so other people can hear us. And we also love to hear from you guys. So, yay. So how's your week, twin?
My week's been really good. We're just, obviously I'm recording from a different place right now. Since we're not doing video, I can record like anywhere in my house. So that is lovely.
It's amazing. And I am recording from a table.
Yay!
From a table, not on the floor, not on a bed. I'm recording on a table. So happy.
Yeah, last week I recorded with Phoenix and Derek downstairs eating breakfast at 9 a.m, and I recorded on the floor in my closet, which kind of is reminiscent of like our first episode when we used to record squeezed in a closet together.
Yeah.
So,
which now that I think about it was completely unnecessary as far as sound goes for us to have been cooped up inside the closet.
We didn't have AirPods back then though.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
So our sound wouldn't have been that good.
If you're a podcaster, like you may think that these like dope like podcasts, like headphones, or I have Blake's DJ headphones. Honestly, like get yourself some AirPods and maybe like I just use like a regular like vlogging mic, and we have great sound, and it's consistently great sound, which is really important and took us a long time to get right. So
I need to get one of those.
The vlogging mics.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah, just one that I can put, like, because you know you have the USB, you can just, like, USB it into your computer, and then it sounds great, so, I just want to get one of those. No, but I don't have your mic, though.
I know, but I'm saying you have my splitter, and that's what my splitter's for, and you have it.
Oh, yeah, I would just have to get, like, one of those huge, like, I have a mic, and it's Derek's mic, and so, like, we haven't invested any money. This is, like, a totally side topic. We can do a whole podcast about how we podcast. If anybody wants to hear it, maybe episode 1 of next year, we will do, like, a how we recorded 52 episodes in 1 year podcast. I should write that down. That's a great idea for a podcast.
It is a great idea. And, like, the things we've, like, learned and figured out, and, like, what we do different now, and all the good things.
Yes, exactly. But as far as my week, it's been a pretty, like... The week's been pretty good. We finally got some cold weather. Let's see, what happened between last week? Halloween? Was that last week? No, that was 2 weeks ago. So yeah, this week we just
a small thing happened. You know, election or
the election happened. Yes, that was exciting. 4 days long, and we still have weeks and weeks and weeks to go. So that was definitely very exciting. And some people were very stressed. I wasn't really feeling the stress until like the second, then the third day. And I was like, okay, people, like this is even giving me some anxiety. Cause you're used to like when we were growing up, even any election, you're used to it just happening in one night. And then they decide at
cause it was
midnight.
It was mainly electronic back then. So like there was if you had to do like an absentee ballot, you had a really early time to like, that you had to have it in. And then anybody else who voted on the day of were doing electronic ballots. So you didn't have the concept of like people getting their votes in the day of election, like mailing their votes in the day election day. But as of right now, our president-elect is President Joe Biden. So
yes,
barring some ridiculousness, our president is Joe Biden. So,
and our vice president-elect is the first Black and East Asian female vice president, Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris.
Woo!
So happy.
So, if you aren't as excited as us, we are sorry. We still love you, but this is, for us, it's very exciting on many levels and whatever. So, yeah. But before that, I feel like we're going to segue into our Did You Sees talking about that. But how was your week, Twin?
My week was good. It was very, like, it's just, like, everything in our life's kind of progressing slowly but surely. So, I went and did something that was pretty, oh no, I'll leave that to the end. Cause that was like, I'll leave that to the end. I'll make that my, go girl. But this week we got, literally just now, like an hour ago, we got some, furniture in from one of the properties that the Blake's company owns. They sold that house and they had staged it with some like furniture. So they actually just brought some over here because obviously we don't have any of our furniture's not here. So we've been like kind of air mattressing it and like, you know, kind of like camping out for the last in an apartment, but for the last like few weeks we've kind of been camping out since we haven't been in a hotel because that was ridiculously expensive. So we've been kind of camping out. So it's nice to like not be completely camping out right now. We've got like a little couch. We've got like a high top table in here now. And like, so we can, you know, kind of feel less like campers and more like people that live here. So
yeah,
I'm very happy about that. Like Blake brought in like, we have like the little rails that you put the box spring on, you put the mattress on top. It's not some fancy bed frame, but it works great for us because we also this week went and looked at a couple of houses. A couple of models for homes. They have a ton of neighborhoods where they're building like a bunch of different houses, like tract homes in all these neighborhoods. And because they're really trying to develop the state, really like, I mean, if you guys have never been to Indiana, it is like in comparison to California and Georgia, it's not very developed. So people are really trying to like, companies keep coming and buying all these land and wanting to put a bunch of houses on it to help develop the state. So, but they give you all these incentives and stuff. So we looked at like a beautiful home that literally has like all the things that we would want. And so hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll be putting down like the earnest money on it. And then in like 6 months from now, we'll have a new house. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yay.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
So I'll keep you guys updated on the whole development of the house situation. And then I also did some fall shopping / winter shopping because I have no winter clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah, even in storage, I don't have winter clothes. And I mean like legit winter clothes. Like not this like, I've got a long sleeve and some jeans and like some boots. Like no, like I had to get like these leggings twin that I got from Target. Are like thermal, like I would put these on and I was like, these are pants. Like these are, they were like double layered. They had a layer on the inside and then an outer layer. I was like, oh my God, these are freaking so comfortable. The ones I really want to get though, I really want to get a leather pair really bad, a pleather pair. So I'm going to try to track down some of those. They were oddly sold out at Target. Not surprised, but anyways, but yeah, this week's it's been good getting things kind of in order. And, I'm trying to think if we did anything. Was last week the week we went to I went to
Fall Festival?
Yeah, but did we talk about?
I think so.
Yeah, but I talked about it on the podcast already last time, didn't I?
I don't know. It's hard to remember if we talked about it on the podcast or if you just told me.
Okay, so we went to a fall festival. I'm pretty sure it was last weekend out here, and it was amazing. We had hot apple cider. Like, we did all the fall things. If you did not see on my Instagram, I did post like 5 photos of I literally titled it like I think I said like all things fall, or we're doing like super falling or something like that. So it's just like the most fall I did. It was a pumpkin patch. I walked through like an apple orchard, which all the apples were dead because apparently, didn't know this, apples die by October. So apple picking season is from August to the beginning of October. So by the time Halloween comes around, which is like it was that weekend that we went, all the all the apples are gone. So I didn't get to like pick any apples, which is kind of sad. So I told Blake, I was like, we have to do apple picking way earlier in the year, babe. But it was so good. It was so good. Literally the best apple cider. And Landon had so much fun, like running through the pumpkin patches, and they had a whole like a bunch of like really cute like kids like stuff set up with like a petting zoo, and like it was super fun. So we'll go earlier next year, so that it's like really fresh and whatever. But it was nice. It's nice being able to really truly enjoy the seasons here.
Yeah, I'm happy that it's finally getting like cool outside. Where I've been able to like, we had like one super random like 90-degree day on Friday of last week, and then it rained Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. And
I saw that on the
today,
news actually, that San Diego was going to get like a storm, like storms or whatever over the weekend.
Yeah, yesterday was a really weird day. Like we would look up and it would be sunny, and then like 2 hours later it would just suddenly get dark and then start pouring. And then it would like slowly clear up, and then it would be sunny, and then it would go up to 60 degrees, and then like 2 hours later it would just like temperature would drop 10 degrees, and then it would just get cold and then torrential downpour. And I was like, what is going on with the weather? Like it reminded me of Texas a little bit. Like just like random cold. The wind would pick up like to like 25, 30 miles per hour, and then it would just like come down rain. Like I was like, this is extremely weird. So yeah, but and also big thing yesterday, and then we will move on to our Did You Sees. Derek's birthday was yesterday. So we're recording this on Monday.
Is he 30
and
yet?
Derek's birthday was, yes, he's 29.
Oh God.
He turned 29.
Come on. Get there.
Next year we'll do a big 30-year-old birthday. But yeah, he's 29, and it was super fun to like just like hang out. Like, so the thing that kind of irritated me about it was like, I'm like really big about RSVPing. I don't know what happened with our generation of people born between 1990 and freaking 1980, but we forgot how to RSVP apparently. So people
annoying.
don't like to like, they like wait until the day of. You have to text them to make sure that they're coming, to even know if they're going to come. And then even an hour before, sorry, can't come, forgot that I had to take my cat on a walk. And you're like, oh, okay, cool, great. So it's just like, it's like so irritating. I'm like, things have been planned, like food has been bought, like I'm not just like, hey, come hang out with us. Like, no, I'm planning like a get together. So, the one couple that we knew for sure would come is this couple that we're kind of like growing closer to, that lives here. And we've gone to like a couple things. We went to their like, if you've seen my Instagram, we went pumpkin carving at their house, but then they went on a vacation because their birthday is, the wife's birthday is November 2nd. And, so she went on a vacation, and didn't come back until today. So she wasn't able to go, even though they really wanted to come, cause like we usually do like game nights and stuff. So they weren't able to come, but they told me 2 weeks ago when I did the invite. So then there was another friend, like another group of friends, because I was like, okay, babe, like I have a lot of friends that are couples, like just from like F45 and stuff. Like I could round up a group of people to come. And I was like, also tell me who you want to be there so that I can like start, letting people know, or you let people know, and then tell me how many people are going to be there, what couples are going to come. And he was like, yeah, honestly, I just want 2 couples, Jordan and Katrina, which are his best friends, and then this other couple who we know from his work. And they like last minute, like they're the kind of people that no matter what, it's always going to be last minute. And if they do show up, they're not going to tell you for sure they're going to come. They're just going to show up, and they're going to show up late. And it drives me freaking nuts. Like every time we invite them to something, Derek's like, oh, invite them. And I'm like, okay, cool. We've invited them to 3 game nights now and Derek's birthday. And both times they're like, oh, we'll see. I don't really know if I can go, but thanks for the invitation. Anyways, I'm done inviting them to play things. Like, it just drives me nuts. Like, I just say yes or no, especially if I tell you 2 weeks in advance. Say yes or no. Don't say like maybe, and then I have to text you the day of to figure out whether or not you're coming. Like, I think that's just like ridiculous. Anyways, so rant over.
Like, my whole thing with people doing that is people not showing, like, if I take the time to plan something out 2 weeks in advance, because I've planned many a birthday party for Ashley and I over the years, and I've had some highly successful ones and some that kind of flopped. So
yeah,
the ones what bugs me is I always, for Ashley and I's birthday, I literally start inviting people a month in advance. I'm that person. Like, I'm about to invite you a month in advance because if I wait 2 weeks or the week before, like, people still have to, like, put in requests off for work, all those kind of things. And I just wanted people to, like, you know, give them courtesy and, like, make them be able to plan. Because I don't want to hear the excuses, I have to work. Like, no. You could request it off. I did actually have one year where I didn't invite everybody from the Oasis, and people were salty about it. And I was like, well, some of y'all have to work.
Yeah.
Like, and Billy literally asked me, he was like, who do I need to not schedule and who do you not care? I'm like, these people have to be off and these people are going to work.
Yeah.
They can come after.
Yeah.
Like, that was, and that may be crappy of me, but I was just, there were people that I valued coming more than other people. But anyways, I don't like when people do that. Like, I take the time to get invitations sent out and then last minute they're like, I can't come because blah, blah, blah. Or like, they tell me they're going to come and then the day before say they're not coming, or hours before I thought they were coming and then all of a sudden magically they can't make it, or just like stuff like that. I just feel like it's super inconsiderate. And it also makes me feel like when somebody doesn't commit to coming to something that I invite them to, that they don't care.
Yeah, like, that they don't want to come. Because when when you really want to do something, you commit.
You put it on the calendar and you go, hey, this is this person's thing they invited me to. They took the time to invite me 2 weeks in advance. And if I cannot schedule it so for me to be able to come, then I'm just going to say no, or I'm going to make it a priority. But I'm not going to like string them along, you know. So, anyways,
and see, that's why me and the girl that invited me to I'm not using their names because I don't know if they want me to use their names, but the girl that invited me and Derek and Phoenix to the pumpkin carving, she told me like 3 weeks in advance. She was like, it's happening on this day. I was like, wow, she is organized. That's why she and I get along, because she tells me things like weeks in advance. She doesn't assume, like, she tells you weeks in advance. And then even then she was like, they were talking about, like, they're like, is so-and-so couple coming? She's like, they're like, oh, I'm not really sure. They said they might stop by for a few minutes. Like, I hate when people do that. Like, you might stop by for a few minutes. Like, what do you think this is? Like, just come. Like, what are you doing that's so important?
No one's life is that busy right now. No one's.
Right?
So why are you? I may stop by for, like, no. Unless you have children, there's really no reason for you to be like, I may come by for a couple minutes and then I have to like, no, you don't. You're not that busy. Y'all brought Phoenix with you to the pumpkin patch thing, or the pumpkin carving thing.
Yeah, she told us we could, so we did. And he was the only kid, and he did great.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
You know what happened to our Did You Sees?
Yes, we can. So we already talked about the big one, which was the election, so we won't talk about that anymore. But I feel like there was one more. What was the other one? Oh, wait.
Johnny Depp.
Oh, Johnny Depp.
And then we can talk about The Bachelor for like a little bit about The Bachelor, and then we can get into our topic. Yeah. So if you guys didn't hear, I mean, real quick, Johnny Depp is not going to be in the next Beasts. What are they called?
Fantastic Beasts as Grindelwald.
Yes. He's not going to be in those films anymore, because apparently, like, him and, like, what's her name? Amber what?
I think it's Heard. Okay.
She's the girl that played Aquaman's, like, love interest in the Aquaman movie. If you haven't seen it, she was the redhead mermaid girl. She apparently...
They're not mermaids.
Whatever. Aqua people.
Atlanteans.
There you go. Atlanteans. I just remember looking at her going, you look like Ariel, like, through the whole movie, because she had this bright red hair and she swam in the ocean and she was a ocean person. Anyways, an Atlantean, I'm sorry, I trying to get that correct. She was in that movie. So apparently they've been having, like, they've had domestic abuse allegations on both sides. Like, he says that she cut off his finger, and she said that he did. I don't know. Both of them just need to get as far away from each other as possible. But for some reason, they seem to find it necessary to fight in court over it instead. And they don't have children together. He has a kid with somebody else. So I still don't understand why they're fighting. What is the purpose of this? Just get away from each other.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's just kind of ridiculous that they're, like, fighting over this. I don't know. I wish they would just
stop.
Yeah, just stop. Like, why? I mean, I'm more upset that he's not going to be Grindelwald because he was just so magical as Grindelwald, and I feel like who
So
the heck
good.
are they going to recast? And Warner
Well, the thing
Brothers is
with
like, oh
Grindelwald
no,
is that
just
he had
recast the
multiple
role.
faces, right?
Did he?
Yeah, because he was like his original face wasn't Johnny Depp's face in the first one. He revealed that he was Johnny Depp in the second one. So in reality, they could cast somebody, and he could have just changed his face for some reason because he originally wasn't. It was somebody else. It was I can't remember who the actor was in the first movie, and then after they arrested him, then his face turned into Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp's face,
Okay.
which I guess is his real face, but like I feel like because of that transition and it's a movie about magic, they could find something, but he was still so good, and Johnny Depp does such a good job of owning his characters, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. There was something about Grindelwald's character that was just like very endearing, even though he's like evil. But it was still very endearing because of the way Johnny Depp played him. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully the movie is still. I mean, I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan, but Derek is, and he was like super crushed that Johnny Depp wasn't going to play him. So I think unless somebody dies, like what's his name died after 2 movies, Dumbledore, the actor that played Dumbledore, and people were like, he's not going to be able to live up to his, amazing the previous actors, as Grindelwald, and he did great. So
yeah, I'm sure they'll find somebody, but Johnny Depp has such a unique way about how he curates his characters and stuff that it'll be interesting to see, but I don't know. But anyway, so there's that, and then but the next thing, the best part about our Did You Sees is definitely the ridiculousness that is The Bachelorette, or at least was for the first 4 episodes. Which I'm going to be real with you, Twin. After talking to you about it, I had no desire to go back and watch it, so I didn't watch it. I was just like, I already know what happens. Don't need to watch it. It's cool.
It was just so cringy.
I saw so many comments about how cringy it was.
But that's just the depth. That's how I define the whole season. Cringy. Like there's some. My biggest problem. Okay, so since I did watch it, I'll just like cover like a couple of things. My biggest issue with it was that they really tried to. Okay, so basically the breakdown of it is that like Claire basically they start the episode. She's talking to Chris Harrison, and she basically says,
"Spoiler!
Oh yeah, spoiler!
You
alert.
haven't DVR'd,
you haven't seen
or
it.
you haven't, I don't know, looked at Instagram or Facebook or TV." Blake heard the news on the radio. It was on Fox radio. So if you have had your head in the sand and you do not know this news, we are going to spoil what we know so far is to come. The first 4 episodes of The Bachelorette. So just so you know, because it's a huge spoiler. So if you missed it, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I knew about this months ago, but some people for some reason didn't know about this. Okay. So basically, long story short, they finally reveal that Claire leaves the show, tells Chris Harrison, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore. I have no desire to be with any other guys. I want to be with frickin' Gail. Dale. Gail. That would be a twist. Dale. So he decides that she decides that she wants to leave and be with Dale. The part that's hilarious about it is like they go on a one-on-one date, right? Chris Harrison comes in, tells the guys, hey, you're not going on a date today. Oh, by the way, Dale, let me talk to you for a minute. So he tells Dale, hey, Claire wants to see you on a one-on-one date. I didn't want to tell her about this. Say this in front of the guys because I know there's tension, but you are going on a date with Claire right now. So he goes back to his room. He gets dressed up. They go on a date. He tells her that he is falling in love with her. She tells him, I'm falling in love with you. It's all magic and happiness. Meanwhile, the guys are at the house sitting all day long, not doing anything, getting pissed that Dale is gone again for the whole day. And the other guys are like, I don't understand. They're like, at this point, they're starting to figure it out. So like, what am I here for if she's just going to pick Dale? Like, what a waste of time. This is ridiculous. Like, if she's going to be with Dale, she needs to just tell all of us. And then I guess we're going to go home. So there's most of the guys feel that way. There's two guys, Jason and the other guy's name I can't remember right now, who are like actually had like one-on-one dates with her and actually got to know her better than the other guys. The one guy is the one that like DM'd her before the show, and then Jason's the guy that did the weird date where they had to like write letters to their younger selves.
Yeah.
So
which I thought was super
those
weird,
guys,
by the way.
yeah, it was a super weird date. So if you guys don't want to know about our opinions about that, go back a couple episodes in your feed and you will hear our opinions about that episode. But yeah, so he basically, that happens. The guys are like, those two guys are like, kind of like, oh my gosh, like I actually was developing feelings for her. Like what the heck? And they're like low-key heartbroken. Okay. So fast forward, date's over. Chris Harrison goes up to Claire and goes, hey, so, you know, you decided you want to be with him, so I guess the next step is proposal, right? Okay. So she's just like, yeah, I guess that's what it is. And,
that's super weird.
So then she gets all excited. Chris calls freaking the ring guy, Neil Lang. He's like, hey, by the way, I need a ring and I need it today. And he's like, wait, what? You're only 3 weeks into production. How do you need a ring? And he's like, Chris is like, I don't know. I'm just going with the flow, basically. Then he goes and talks to Dale and says, oh, hey, so you love Claire? And he's like, yeah, I do love her. He's like, oh, by the way, Claire dumped all the other guys a minute ago, which was super awkward. I won't go into super details. That was super awkward. She was just like, I'm in love with Dale and I think you guys are great and you'll find someone, but I'm going to be with Dale. Like, that's literally what she told them. And yeah, so I didn't like the fact that I felt
like, I'm not going to apologize for love, blah, 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 coming.
That happened when she had already decided she was going to break up with all the guys, and she goes in the room, and that's when she tells them, because the guy, I can't remember his name, but the one that's like the boy band manager guy,
yeah,
with all the tattoos, he's older. He was the one that was like, I mean, I feel like you owe us all an apology. And she was like, an apology for what? Like, what exactly am I apologizing for? She's like, I'll apologize. And then that's what she says. I'll apologize for wasting your time. I'll apologize for, you know, hurting your feelings, but I am not going to apologize for love, is what she says to him.
Which I find very condescending.
I mean, I don't think she should apologize for falling in love with him. What should she apologize for? For wasting her time? Yeah, I guess.
Well, okay, I guess, coming from somebody that's annoyingly empathetic, I would have been like, wow, this really, like, I'm so happy that I'm in love, but man, I was on The Bachelor, and it would suck if I stopped my entire life, and heaven forbid, like, they stopped their whole entire lives when the world was functioning normally. These guys went through they jumped, not to say they jumped through hoops is like, not even, they jumped through fiery hoops to be on the show. So for her to not even have like the care to be like, you know what, this country is in a lot of hard times. Like, I realize that you guys gave up so much, and I didn't come into this situation with this intention. I came into this situation with an open heart, and I wanted to find love, and I have found love, and I don't feel like I should continue with this process and waste any more of y'all's time.
That's how she did approach it. That's basically what she said.
Okay.
Like, it was like probably 5, at least a good, like, I mean, it felt like in television time, it was probably 2-3 minutes. So it was probably like 20-ish minutes of her apologizing. So it was a good long speech she made. And it wasn't just like very flippant, like, sorry, screw you guys, I found love, so have a great life. Like, it wasn't like that. Okay. She was like crying, and she was very like hard, like you could tell she was sad, and like it was really, really hard for her to do it. And the guys seemed to be like, you know, I respect the fact that you actually came to us and told us this, because she could have just sent Chris Harrison. You know?
Yeah.
She could have just been like, hey, Chris, by the way, I'm going to go be in love, but can you go break up with all these guys for me? You know what I mean? Totally could have done that. Yeah. But she didn't. She faced them, which to me, I don't know if I could have done it. Like, man. So, anyways, end of the episode, basically Dale and Claire go skip off into the sunset, and then the last 5 minutes, we find out Chris Harrison comes to the guys after Dale. He tells the guys, hey, by the way, Dale and Claire are gone. Dale proposed and Claire said yes, and they've left the island or left the bubble. They're off in the real world now. So you guys have a choice. You can either stay in the bubble or you can leave. He doesn't say anything else. He doesn't say we're going to bring a new bachelorette. He doesn't say anything. He just says you can stay in the bubble or you can leave. But you have to be ready with an open heart to potentially date somebody new. So, some of the guys were like kind of not sure. Will I be able to do this with an open heart? Blah, blah, blah. The rest of the guys were like, yes, second chance. Why would I say no?
Right.
So what we don't get to see is the guys react to Claire, which we will see this week.
Tayshia?
Or have already seen. Not to Claire, I'm sorry. React to Tayshia. Because it ends with she walks into the room of them. So they don't make them go through limos or anything again. Basically, she walks in the room, and that's how the episode ends. It says to be continued. So we don't see any of their faces, what they think, how they react, whatever. So it's the last 15 guys. There's apparently rumors that they're going to bring some other guys in, like partway through, but I hope they don't, because I think that's just going to get weird.
Yeah, I think it's weird. It's already too much change. I did see some, this season on The Bachelorette with Tayshia highlights, and obviously they're going to play up the narrative of, do these guys even really care about Tayshia, or are they just trying to stay on the show? Have you seen her?
I know. That's dumb.
That is not at the very least, when they see her, they're not going to be upset. That's not, guy is going to be like, that's our back. That's not gonna, they're not gonna be like, ew, no. This girl, no, she is annoyingly beautiful. And I told Blake, I was like, the glow up, Tayshia was already gorgeous. You put some bachelorette magic and wardrobe and hair,
yeah.
guys.
Yeah,
it is stupid. She has 1 million followers now. It's crazy.
And she wasn't even the Bachelorette until
people loved her on Bachelor in Paradise. They loved her relationship with JPJ, John Paul Jones. We couldn't remember his name last week. We remembered it now. John Paul Jones.
Yep. Yep.
And the way they broke up was an amicable breakup. They got back together, and then their distance was what broke them up, and they just couldn't, between his job, because he has a regular job, and her career that requires her to travel and all that stuff, so it didn't work out, which is great for us, because I thought she should have been the Bachelorette to begin with. Bump this Claire stuff. Tayshia is 28 years old. She's not 40 or whatever, almost 40, but she's still grown. She's not 22 or 23 like Hannah was.
Yeah.
So, and she's had quite a few years to roam around the Bachelor world since she was on her season with Colton, because it's been 3 years, Twin? Since Colton?
I think it's been 2. I think Colton was last year.
Was he? Oh, so much has happened in the world.
Well, it's because The Bachelor normally happens in January.
Yeah, I guess it just feels like it's been so long. Because there was Bachelor.
Because right now we would have already, Paradise would have ended right now, and we would have been starting The Bachelor.
Yeah.
Right now.
Well,
that's usually what happens.
Yeah. Well, either way, I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. I will definitely be tuning in tomorrow. We're recording on a Monday this week. We told you guys we'll get you guys a podcast out on the same day, so doesn't matter what day we record, we're getting a podcast out. So, yeah. But let's get into our topic before we run out of time, Twin.
Yeah. So we're good over the time. Okay. So I don't think I've said this on the podcast, but I went to a Starbucks one day and I brainstormed a bunch of different podcast topics, because I really wanted to have topics that were really well thought out. Cause not that our topics aren't well thought out, but we tend to come up with a topic the day before. And we're like, oh, that's a good topic. And then we kind of go for it. Which we still have done, if something more interesting comes up, but I just wanted to have some banked so that when we have situations like this, we can have a topic, that's actually really good and actually still really relevant. So, basically this week we're going to be talking about 10 things we learned about ourselves after we became moms. And I think this is a really good topic, just now in general, because so much has changed with I think parenting and motherhood. A lot of it's been coming in question lately. with just like the way COVID is in school and making all these crazy decisions. And like, I'm sure a lot of people are like, I never thought I would be this kind of parent, or I didn't know I was, your kids are at home all the time. And you're like, okay, like I didn't know I was this person, or, like having to spend day in, day out with your kids and your spouse, or being a homeschool teacher now, and all this kind of stuff that you never planned to do. So
Right.
I figured we would just talk about a few things that like we learned being as once we became moms. So I don't know if you guys know already, but my son is 4. He'll be 5 in January, and Amber's
Oh my
is
God.
2,
I can't
and
believe you're
he'll
going to
be
have a
3.
5-year-old twin.
I know. I'm gonna have a whole 5-year-old.
Oh my God. It's crazy.
He's 44 inches tall, by the way. I looked up that height. That's the average height of a 6-year-old.
Yeah, and Phoenix is so
The average height of a
he's very slim, but he's tall.
Yeah. The average height of a 6-year-old is 42 or 45 and a half. And he's 44 inches tall.
Wow.
It's crazy. He's like giant. So, and he's skinny too. He's 44 inches tall and 44 inches tall and 44 pounds. So he's just shooting upright with his weight, I guess. And hopefully that stops, because I don't want him to be 100 pounds and 100 inches tall. That would just be crazy. Okay. So the first thing on this list that I think is like kind of one of those things that I have dealt with the entire time, even now that Phoenix is 5, is that I really, really, really like sleeping, like a lot. And when I don't have sleep, I'm super freaking grumpy. And like, I literally, like, even though Derek and I want to have 2 more kids, just thinking about having a newborn and the lack of sleep that I had, and having to deal with a toddler coming home from school, I just low-key have anxiety already, like thinking about that. But then I think about, like, I got well adjusted with Phoenix, like with his sleep schedule. I got him on a solid, like, I just adjusted. I got him on a solid 6 to 7 hours of sleep. Like, am I probably going to get up and do F45 at 6 o'clock in the morning? Probably not. But, I'll, still be, I'll figure it out. Plus in the first 6 weeks, I won't be working out anyways. Anyways, long story short, that does kind of give me anxiety. But for you, Landon's pretty much slept since he came home. So.
Yeah, no, but I still thought, this is the thing. Landon, for the first, obviously, when he came into this world until he was about, I think Landon was sleeping solid through the night at 6 months old. So, but I was getting him to sleep between 4 and 6 hours when he was about 4 months old. And 4 to 6 hours at a time is like a gift from God when you have a infant.
Yeah.
So, and I remember what I would do is I would go to sleep, because what starts to happen too when you have an infant is you forget what time it is. So, because I would just be like, okay, it's been 2 hours. It's time to eat. It's time for him to eat. Okay, he's got back to sleep. He slept for I would wake up and think I would go to sleep and fall asleep at 8. And I knew at 10 o'clock he was going to wake up and he was going to be hungry, and then he was going to go back to sleep, and then he'd probably sleep for another 5 or 6 hours, hopefully.
Yeah.
But so I would get him to go back to sleep about 11 o'clock, and then he'd be up again at like 6 a.m. But on the off chance that he woke up before that, I would look at the clock, and if it has been 6 hours since the last, if it had been 6 hours since the last time, I would write down his times. It's like, I was crazy. I was writing down I was like, so we woke up at 10 o'clock. He ate this many ounces. He was back asleep by this time. Now he's up at I was keeping all kinds of logs of him. And anyway, so because of that, I just remember waking up and being like, it's been 6 hours. Okay, I can function on 6 hours of sleep. I'm getting up. Even though I had to get up anyway, I trained myself to be less upset if I got at least 6 hours of sleep. So I had to alter because when I was single, I would sleep for 12 hours a day. I would literally stay out. We would stay out till midnight or something. And if it was a day off, I would stay out till 1 or 2 in the morning. I'd come home. I'd sleep till freaking 3, on and off. I'd get up, I'd eat, I'd go back to sleep. I'd get up, I would shower, go back to sleep. I'd take Bella out and go back to sleep. That was my day. I could sleep whenever I wanted to. I don't get to just sleep.
Yeah.
I miss it. I miss being able to just take a nap in the middle of the day.
Yeah. I mean, I can do that now, but it's still just, I don't know. It's different now. When I go to sleep, I sleep for 2 hours. I'm like, dang, like, one, I feel like I've wasted my day because I have to go pick up Phoenix. So I'm like, oh, I just wasted 2 valuable hours of my day by myself in the quiet that I could have had sleeping. Like, what? You know? Okay, so that brings me to the next one, is that I really hate being woken up to chaos. Like, I just talked to you yesterday about this. Derek is very awake when he gets up in the morning. Phoenix is the same way. So if I wake up and they are awake at the same time, like I barely get 30 seconds with my eyeballs open before it's like, hey babe, how'd you sleep? How's it going? Are you hot? Are you thirsty? Do you want to get something to eat? Can I grab you something? Did you want me to start you breakfast? I'm like, I haven't even my brain is not working yet. Like, even this morning, like I literally woke up this morning, I roll out of bed and Phoenix's little voice, hi babe, how was your sleep? I don't know, Phoenix. I just barely rolled out of the bed. I don't know how my sleep was yet. Give me 5 minutes and I will tell you how my sleep was. And Derek is literally, he gets so butthurt in the morning. Like, he's like if he's awake or he wakes up when I get out of the bed, he's like, morning babe, can I get a kiss? I'm like I just opened my eyes. I can't handle it. I need to like wake up. It needs to be on my own, like, even honestly, even when Phoenix used to wake up when he was a baby, that still felt like my time because he was a baby. Like the only thing he needed from me was to hold him and feed him. Like you can just hold him, feed him, walk around. I can turn on a show, turn on a podcast, read a book, but it's still like the energy can still be very like quiet and like peaceful, you know?
Right.
Versus like Phoenix and Derek both waking up at the same time. It's just like, oh my gosh, like I can't do it. I don't know how you guys do it. Or if you might have more tolerance for this than me. I don't know.
I am not the person that. So what's funny about it is I don't think neither Blake nor I are like awake in the morning. Like but Blake also will get up. Like he'll be in the bed, and then if he gets woken up, he'll just be like, I'm up, and he'll just get up, and then he'll go get dressed and go to the bath. But he doesn't like instantly start talking to me. He'll get up, but then he'll come up and be like, babe, I'm gonna go to the store, and kind of like leave the house and just like let me and Landon just like sleep. And then this morning I was able to like Landon didn't wake up till 8:30. I woke up at 8 and I was able to get up and shower this morning before he even woke up. And I was just like, this is nice. Like I really should start getting up earlier because I can like have some quiet and like it's in the morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like, so yeah, I definitely feel like I'm not as agitated about it as you, but I do, but it does, what's weird about it is when Blake is like that with Landon, I'm just like, can you just give him 5 seconds before you're tickling him and talking to him and picking, like, he literally just opened his eye sockets. Like,
yeah.
Chill.
Derek does that to Phoenix too.
I'm like, leave him alone. Like, he's like, he's fine. I'm like, no. Who wants to be poked and prodded at the first thing they do? Like, when Landon wakes up, I like grab him and I snuggle him and like I'm talking to him and like calm when he wakes up, you know? Anyway, what's the next one?
Okay, the next one is yes. I feel like I have patience, but I have very little patience. And I don't think that I'm getting more patience. I don't know. Maybe I am becoming more patient. I don't know what it is. I think and mom says I'm really patient. She thinks I'm so patient. Like she'll hear me, like sometimes I'll be on the phone with Phoenix and Phoenix is like doing something. I'm just like, it's okay, Phoenix. Like, let's go do this. Let's do that. Let's change. I think it just depends. It depends on how, and I guess this is patience. It depends on how much my buttons have been pushed the whole day determines how much patience I have. And I guess that's because I've used up all my patience already. Probably.
Yeah.
So
there's definitely days where I just like, after a few days in a row, I feel like my head's like sinking underwater slowly because of all like the constant. I'm just not a person that can handle constant outside stimulation. Like I can sit and watch shows calmly all day long, or like read a book or something, and like just sit there, and that's still stimulating my mind. But having to constantly like get this, get that, get up, mommy, this, blah blah, like that can just make me feel like I'm drowning. After multiple days in a row of that, I just like have one of those like mommy like meltdowns where I'm just like, Leave me alone. Get away from me.
Yeah, can somebody just do something
Yeah.
for the kid? Like, yeah.
Somebody else do it. You don't need any more
Yeah.
juice. But on that, so mine that I added to this list, I feel like kind of coincides with that. I thought before I was pregnant with Landon, one of the reasons I was hesitant about having a kid was that I thought I was just too selfish and self-absorbed to care for another human. And I oddly have learned that that's just not the case.
Well, duh.
She says duh, but for me, it just really seemed, I was just like, I am super self-absorbed. Like, I like to sleep. If I want to sleep for 12 hours with nobody judging me, I'm going to sleep for 12 hours. If I want to go out at 2 a.m. and leave my house at 1:45 at night to get last call at the bar, I want to be able to do that. But then I've learned that, like, my value system is different. Like, I have no desire to be out till freaking midnight. Like, because that sounds miserable. Because the first thing I think of is like, okay, if I'm out to midnight or like being hungover, like who's trying to be hungover with a toddler? No one. That sounds miserable. So yeah. So anyways, okay. So we can move on to the next one if you like.
Okay. Wait, do you have the outline?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, you do the next three.
Okay.
Because I did the first three.
I don't want as many as I thought. Well, that has to do with you, because I've always known I only wanted one quiet child. So
barely.
So
I always said that I wanted to have 5 boys, and I think maybe if I had 5 boys, like if I was married at 20 or 21 and I had 5 boys back to back and I was done making babies by like 28, 27, 29, then maybe I would have had 5. But just the idea, I see my friends that have 4 kids under 5, and I'm like, that just sounds so stressful. Like 4 kids under 5, you are changing diapers for all of them. You're with all 4 of them all day, every day. They all need, like, Phoenix, like, times 4 at the 8, or Landon times 4. Like, they all need juice at the same time. They all need snacks at the same time. They all need, like, putting them all 4 down for bed and all 4 down for naps. Like, oh my goodness. Like, I need one to be old enough that they can help.
Yeah, I think
she said because we used to help.
You and I used to help? Yeah. So I think that's good, because Phoenix is turning 5 this year. So by the time you and Derek have another baby, he'll be 7, almost 7? Yeah. It's perfect time, because he'll be in helper mode, and he'll be in school. So he'll be in school all day. So all that time that you have, like, during the day with your infant, you won't have both of them. It's perfect time. Yeah.
Which I agree. And I won't be changing diapers at the same time. Phoenix is potty trained. He can make his own snacks, like his own, he can get his own, literally, he can, anything that's like, we have a lot of snacks in the house that are prepackaged. He has a little drawer, everything. We put a lot of things down to his level. I need to move his plates and bowls and things down to his level so he can reach them now, because he's been trying to get them, but he has to climb up steps or whatever. So I need to do that so that he can get to his little cups and bowls and plates and stuff. But yeah, I think that I definitely don't want 5 anymore. 2 more, but definitely not 5. That's just wow. Okay, so the next one. Oh, go ahead.
The next one is, I don't discipline the way that I thought. I honestly am not sure how I thought I would discipline. I think that I'm definitely a different. I'm 31, so I'm an older, more mature person now than I would have been when I was thinking about it. So I guess yeah, in that aspect, I think. But it's not like I had siblings that I disciplined for me to compare my discipline style to. I just kind of thought, I was under the impression that I will figure out how to Landon's just going to be his own, he's going to be his own human, and I'm just going to have to learn to deal with the situations as they come. But there's definitely things that I've for sure stuck to that, that I don't think I've changed anything. I don't know. What did you feel like you changed as far as your discipline?
Well, I mean, I definitely thought about it way beforehand. So I I am a strict parent in some aspects. Like in other aspects, I'm super lax. But in some things, I'm like super strict, and the things I'm super strict about, I'm like, there's no giving in. Like, I knew that I was going to be very strict on like routines, bedtime, when we go to bed, when we like do this, like the stuff. But there's stuff that like I don't have like the only thing I'm strict on is bedtime. And even that routine has gotten a little bit more lax, but we kind of have a routine down. Like we formed a new routine. He's older. We can't do the same routine that we did when he was 2. So we have a different routine now, but it's a routine. But at the same time, like when I'm with him on Fridays and Saturdays, we don't have we eat breakfast at 9, and then at 10 o'clock, we're going to do puzzles. And then at 11 o'clock, we're going to go to the park for an hour. And then 12 o'clock, we're going to come home. We're going to have quiet time. And then 1 o'clock, we don't have that. Like, we don't do that. We kind of just, whatever, fly by the seat of our pants. However, when it comes to like school and like making sure that he like prioritizes like, he doesn't really have homework, but like making sure like we prioritize like books, like we read him books all day. Like now he loves books, wants us to read all the time. And that was really important to me. Teaching him a foreign language, super important to me. And as far as like regular discipline, I felt like I thought I was going to be like a spanker parent. And now just even thinking about that, I'm just like, I could never do that. Like, I never thought I was going to be like, when I would see people put their kids in timeout, I'm like, really? Timeout? Like, that kid needs like a for sure, like firm hand to the booty. You know what I mean? And like now, like I could not imagine doing that.
Like so I've been telling Blake recently, to allow Landon to make his own choice. And I know that sounds, people are like, you have a 2.5-year-old. That sounds ridiculous. No, 2-year-olds can make their own choices. If I ask them,
they can. They can understand consequences.
Right. So what will happen is, like, say Landon took something that he's not supposed to have. So instead of Blake just asking Landon to return it to him, or he's going to go in timeout, Blake will ask him once and then take it from him after that. I'm like, you didn't even give him the option to give it back to you. Like,
yeah, that's how Derek is too.
Allow him to make the decision. He's not getting punished he's getting punished for not listening to you. It's not necessarily like always he's getting punished for doing the thing. It's right now we are teaching him to listen to us so that he doesn't do things like run in the street or like stick something in an electrical socket. Like, he needs to listen to what we say because we are the guiding force of his entire life and universe right now. And we're the ones who are teaching him what is okay and what's not. So if he hits somebody or hits me or, in the 2-year-old way, then, we just have to say, like, no, don't do it. I think that leads into, we're going to skip a couple down because we'll go back to them. But you put one on here that there's more gray in parenting than you thought. And that for sure, I realized that there's a lot of things about parenting that I just in my head thought were like black and white. And when you're doing it and you're hands-on, like, there's some, like, hands-on to, like, the moms that are up every single morning cooking, like, 3 square meal breakfasts or, like, baking freaking, sweet potato, like, chips in the middle of the day. Hands to you. I am not that parent. I'm just not. Like, I don't, and Ashley loves baking. That's on here, too. Ashley loves baking. I don't really like, and maybe when I have like my own like full size kitchen and I actually have more time to really sit and bake, but baking with Landon is not fun. So when I can sit in the kitchen and bake by myself, maybe I'll start to enjoy it, but it's not fun baking with a 2-year-old because he wants to do all the things. And so, but yeah, it's definitely, do you agree that parenting is more, obviously you do, you wrote it down, but what about parenting is more great?
Yeah. I think the biggest thing for me is like, kind of like just to bounce off what you said, is like Phoenix making his own choices, even if it's a bad one. Because right now his choices are low stakes choices. So like if he decides that like you hear me do this all the time. And my mom hears me do this all the time now. He'd be like, I want Skittles. Okay, cool. You can have Skittles right now, but then you don't get a popsicle later. And then you just see his little mind like, is it worth it to have a popsicle, to have Skittles right now? Or should I wait? And sometimes, like, and I didn't think I didn't think he had I didn't think he had yet developed the ability to like, what do they call it? When you like, you can extend your gratification to like later, like, because now a lot of kids don't understand that. They don't have the ability to like, everything is like right away. Right. So like, I'm trying to teach him in little ways, like, okay, great. Like, you can have a popsicle. We can have a popsicle in 2 hours. Or you can not have a popsicle at all. But either way, you could wait 2 hours, or you could not have one. Or you can have Skittles right now, but then you don't get Skittles tomorrow, or whatever it is. We're not going to just be having all the whatever all the time. And in reality, like, it's not that big of a deal, like, if he has Skittles today versus if he has them tomorrow, but it's more of the lesson of, like, delayed gratification. That's what I was trying to say earlier, delayed gratification. But I feel like, honestly, parenting is a lot of just, like, flying by the seat of your pants. Like, for real, like, Derek is like, people be like, what's your parenting style? Whatever makes sense in the time. Like, right. Whatever. I just trust God that I'm making the right decision in the moment. And if I don't make the right decision, I apologize. I am quick to be like, I'm so sorry for yelling at you, Phoenix. Like, I didn't mean to yell at you. I was frustrated because of this and that, whatever. Or you were listening.
So there's definitely times
I was doing.
I've been so mad at Landon where he's like standing in the room crying, and I will literally go in the other room until I am calm, and then I will come out. Yeah. Because because he'll just do something, and I'll just get like it'll just be that one last. We're probably not going to get to all of these, but it'll just be that one last thing that Landon does, and I just lose my mind, and I'm just like, like I'm just like, oh, you're 2.5 years old, and you made me so angry right now, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think like what we should do is like, cause there's so many on this list, is I think I'll post these 10 things on our Instagram, when this podcast comes out, and then kind of like ask people to like tell us like what they've learned after becoming a parent or a mom, and just like see what people say. Cause I'm sure there'll be a lot of things where people are like, oh my gosh, like I thought I was this person and I'm not, or whatever, Yeah. So, but yeah, so real quick, let's do
your no girl and go girl.
Go ahead.
So I don't really have a no girl this week. My go girl is that I went and got my hair done, and I got it silk pressed, and I have like she told me that my hair was super soft, and it literally made my entire life. So I was super excited about that. It literally made my whole life, because I've been really trying over these last few months to really just have healthy hair and trying to consistently take care of it. So I wanted the strands that are growing on my hair, whether they're not like super long or anything, but I will, now that our life's getting more stable, I'll be able to take care of them. But I was super excited about that. So yay me.
Yay. So my go girl is on the same token of hair. So I was like Googling like different ways to like straighten my hair, because I don't want to have like a silk press or anything like that, because I'm not skilled enough to do it here without it like damaging my hair, and I don't want to pay to get it done all the time, because it's just like, I like to do things at home as much as possible. So hence I do my nails at home. So I went and I was like Googling different like ways to straighten your hair, and like I have a blow dryer, and like the little clip on it that like combs through your hair to like give it a blowout and like to give it like straighten it broke, and it's like not strong enough to like comb through my hair.
Yeah. It gets stuck. And
so broke. Yeah, I broke all 3 of the attachments. Like they're literally broken, which is useless. So it's like in the Princess Diaries where they're like trying to comb their hair, and she like breaks off the comb breaks off in her hair. Like that's literally my hair. So I went online and I found that they make blowout brushes that heat up. So I literally went online and I went online, I Googled it. I went to see how much it was on Amazon, and I was at Target the other day, and I was like, I saw one of these brushes and I was like, I'm buying one. And they are literally the best. Like it's just literally, if there's no air, it's just heat. So it's more like a flat iron, but it's like, since it's a brush, it's like detangling. And like the biggest part for me is like, whenever I try to put my hair in a puff or a pineapple or something, like the middle of my head, like I could never get that part straight just with just a regular blow dryer, because you can't like maneuver the brush back there with the blow dryer to like comb it out. And like with this brush, it's literally like part your hair and just brush it out. And it's literally, so if you haven't seen one of these things, they're literally the best. It's amazing. And my hair doesn't feel damaged. I was able to put like a heat protectant on it, moisturize it. It took like probably 30 minutes to do. And I've been wearing it like this. And then it also, I get rid of the guilt of like getting my hair silk pressed and then ending up going to work out, and now it's all sweated out, and I'm just like, well, that's pointless. So yeah. Anyways, I think that's all we have. Thank you guys so much for listening. we will continue to bring you new content. We are going to get to those 52 episodes with 2 weeks left in the year. No, a week. No, we're at a month and a half by the time this comes out left in the year. And shout out to all you throwing up your Christmas trees and all that stuff. I'm sure your houses will look beautiful. And yeah, I guess we'll talk to you guys later.
Yes.
Anything else, Win?
Yeah, please make sure you hit those 5 stars and you leave us a comment and hit the bell if you're watching us on YouTube. And please subscribe to anywhere you listen to us or watch us on our podcast. And we will talk to you guys soon.
Yep. All right.